Can you really have spontaneous worship when you're locked into backing tracks? A lot of worship leaders think using tracks means that you can't flow and you can't take a spontaneous moment where you can't follow where the Holy Spirit's leading you. But that's actually not true. Today, I'm gonna show you with a band how you can be flexible, spontaneous, and Spirit-led, even with tracks. Instead of us following the tracks are gonna follow us. And I'm gonna be using some powerful tools from Loop Community. I've got the Prime app back in the back, running all the tracks, and then I'm using a wireless foot controller called the Looptimus Plus. And I've set up a few buttons to give me full control as I'm leading worship. So I'm gonna be able to choose if we're gonna repeat a section of a song or maybe jump to a different section of the song or end the song. And I can control all of that with this foot controller here. All right, so we're gonna start it from verse 3 and let's go and try it out. And I'm gonna be spontaneous and with the Looptimus controller and see if you guys can follow, cool?
Verse 2, 3, 4.
So I just wanna speak the name of Jesus over fear and all anxiety, and to every soul held captive by depression, I speak Jesus.
4, 2, 3,
'Cause your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows, burn like a fire.
4, 2, 3,
'Cause your name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Break every stronghold, shine through the shadows,
We're going down.
burn like a fire.
Down bridge. 2, 3, 4.
Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family, I speak the
The back beat's
holy
gonna come in
name.
right here.
Jesus.
Bridge. Gonna build it up right here. 3, 4.
Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family, I speak the holy name, Jesus.
Come on, sing that again. Bridge.
Shout
All right, back to the bridge.
Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family, I speak the holy name, Jesus.
4, 2, 3,
Your
4.
name is power, your name is healing, your name is life. Oh, break every stronghold,
Break it down.
shine through the
2,
shadows,
3, 4.
burn like
Come on, sing again. Shout Jesus. 3, 4.
Shout Jesus from the mountains, Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family, I speak the holy name, Jesus.
And 2, 3, 4.
Jesus, Jesus.
Excellent, guys. Isn't that awesome? So that was not how the original arrangement is set inside of Prime. But we were able to be completely spontaneous and do another bridge to build it up again, and then jump back to another down bridge when it was actually, I think, supposed to go to another verse. And I was able to all control it from this controller. And it gave you guys the cue, right? It said,
Yeah.
like you guys, I didn't tell you ahead of time where we're going. You guys had the cue.
I mean, I feel like I'm on a spaceship that's on autopilot over here because I've got both charts and Sunday keys just following wherever you go in Prime. So
Oh.
when you're looping a section
Yeah.
or when you're jumping around in the arrangement, not only does my stuff get there, but it also tells me that I'm going there visually. So I'm hearing the cue and I'm seeing the next highlighted section jump. And even all of my Sunday key sounds are just following. So as long as I'm playing voicings, the parts of the Sunday key setup are just following.
So when I pressed that button, the next section on the chord chart was highlighting.
Correct.
So you
And
knew.
Sunday keys jumped to the key sounds that I had programmed for that part.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Did it confuse you guys at all? Or was it like, was the cue helpful?
No, I think it was good. I mean, you get to the end of the section and you've kind of feel where you're supposed to go, and we hear that cue and we know, oh, like stay on that moment of the settings that we're on and the things that we're playing to go right back in it. It might just be a different dynamic as far as to build more or something to play it more intensely, but as long as you're listening to that cue voice, you know where to go.
What's cool about this controller is it cuts down one line of communication, because I think, for churches that maybe have a music director running all the tracks, as the worship leader, I knew like, oh, I want to build that bridge again. And so I would have had to give you a signal, and then you'd have to give everybody else a signal.
Right.
But what's cool is that I was just able to do this,
Yeah.
and it gave everybody the signal.
Totally.
Well, in those moments, everybody's running on like feel and momentum, like you said. So there might be somebody whose eyes are just closed and they're going. And so that interrupt is like super important to make sure that you are on the same boat as everybody else.
And in the moment as a worship leader, if you're going to do that, if you're planning week to week to do things like that, and you're pre-planning out, I don't know where I'm going to go, but I know I want to change something, you're going to communicate that to your team and be like, band, we're just going to see where this takes us. I have some things mapped, but we'll see if I want to go back. So just be really intentionally listening and focusing to the cues, and wherever it tells us to go to that, right? So we know if it's down bridge, we need to play it soft, or whatever. But if your band knows ahead of time, like, oh, I really need to be honing in on what's happening, and then they have the charts app too, like it's easy to follow along exactly where you're going to go.
That's one thing, like this feels really stable, like it's a trustworthy source of truth. So as you're doing things, I know what you want to have happen because I'm seeing it in a few different places. I'm not like, oh, did I get that right?
Yeah, did I hear him correctly or did I see it correctly?
Built in, right.
Yeah.
And even even if you do have a music director on top of what's happening, like I'm just watching, I'm not watching your foot, I'm like watching Prime. And so I know when it comes out, like there might be an extra thing I need to say, but even if you have band cues in there, they can also follow that. If you repeat a section, it's going to have that band cue trigger again, which is really cool. But as I'm watching it and it says, hey, it's going to go back to the down bridge, I see when you press it, I see this section that's highlighted, and I can pre-tell the band like, hey, Matt wants to go back into a down bridge.
Well, and this is a great song to like demonstrate this out, because we were talking as we were getting ready for today. This song, the original arrangement's like 7.5 minutes long. And I would assume there's like two types of churches. They're always doing it 7.5 minutes long, or they have a drastically abridged version, right? And I think in this case, it's a song that sort of benefits from that air. Like maybe we do need to do it for 7.5 minutes. Maybe we only need to do it for 4 minutes. And in this case, we sort of have the option to do everything the song can do, or just say like, you know what, in the room, it feels right at 4.5 minutes. So let's land the plane.
That's a good point, that there are songs that are meant to like flow. Like this one is packed full of little segments that are like, you could vamp on that over and over and over. Some songs you just really need to get through them.
Well, and I think that's something to know about, especially when you're performing songs by other churches or by artists. Like that's how they got to that thing. They went in with a map, and then they ended up cutting it at 7.5, and that's what felt right in that space, or that's what felt right in the studio as they were putting the finishing touches on it.
Yeah.
But that's like a guide or a palette that then every church can choose, like how much of this do we need? And that's not necessarily always the same Sunday to Sunday, or like 9 a.m. service to 11 a.m. service. Sometimes that just needs to be in there. And I think knowing that you can do it without things falling apart, like with no likelihood of train wreck, that just means you have that freedom, that permission to go there when you need to.
And that's what's powerful with the Prime app, is you can delete any of those section blocks. And so you could take a 10-minute song and cut it down to 5 by just deleting, like, you know, some of the choruses, some of the bridges, and then make your own arrangement. So when I'm leading worship, I always like to have one button on the Looptimus Plus assigned to the repeat function in Prime. When I press it once, it'll repeat the section we're in, no matter what song we're on. If I press it twice, it actually turns on infinite repeat, where it's gonna just repeat that section over and over and over until I tell it to do something else. And so I just love always having that option for every song in the set list. We get to a bridge, we get to a chorus that I wanna repeat, just press the button, and here, off we go. If this tutorial has helped you, hit the like, subscribe button, and also drop a comment below about how you lead spontaneous worship at your church.